Yeah, and I also think one of the things is that I hope that like as the keto community in general, one thing that I really hope that we all embrace together more is celebrating the small steps that people are doing. So sometimes I'll see people online be like, oh, I don't really think that's a good cheese for you to eat, or that's processed, or this is this. And I'm like, listen, we should never lose sight of the fact that that may be a huge, huge victory for somebody to like go through a drive-through and order a lettuce wrap burger instead of fries and a shake and, you know, 2 burgers like they used to. Because that takes a lot for someone to share in the first place. But then on top of it, for them to get any like slack when that could have been like a really, really big step for them, like I think we need to really keep that in mind and be supportive of people, because ultimately, like when people make that first step, like they will naturally want to keep improving it. But if we just like break them down on their first step, I'm like what are we doing? Like we need to be supporting people instead of like the keto police coming in and being like, hold on, that's not real cheese, you know?
Right.
So I just think that that's really important, is to really celebrate the steps that people are going to naturally take, because people will eventually be like, okay, well, I got this, and like, gosh, now I'm learning about this, and this is a really good thing to do, and like, I didn't even know about this. So I think we need to let people have time to take their path.
Love that. And empathy always wins. I always tell
sure.
people empathy always wins. And like we've talked about this before. People are like, oh, never drink diet soda on a ketogenic diet. And I'm like, listen, my brother went from drinking like 4 cans of regular soda to drinking 2 cans of diet. I'm not going to be like, oh,
win.
You suck. Like it's awful. I'm like, no, it's a win.
Right.
That's a win.
Right.
And understanding, like, celebrate the little wins. I love that. Like, hey, you made a small change. My mom, for instance, like, oh, just going from like not eating something with bread and at least saying, oh, even if she takes off half of the bun, I'm like, that's a win.
I know.
That's great. Like, I love it.
Yeah, because that's like supporting people making change, you know? It's like, so if we start putting out there like, no, it has to be this optimal, perfect change, people are going to be like, well, I can't do that. Like, if you would have told me like the way that I analyze and kind of look at food like 4 years ago, I would have been like, that's impossible. But because little by little, I kind of changed things along the way, I worked up to it. But a lot of times, if you look at life in general, like you go through stuff and you look back and you're like, dang, I never thought I would have been able to get through that if I would have known up front everything. But if you do just kind of like get there little by little, then you're like, wow, like I'm impressed, you know?
Right. Just keep chipping away.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.